Hi there, boys and girls. We are on lesson 13 here of our unit 9 of explorations of North America and Native Americans. Let's take a peek here. Today's title is called A History of People in North America. And our main focus today is that we will be able to explain the differing opinions, remember that's what someone feels and or thinks, on the origin of Europeans on North America. We have a few vocabulary words here to go over before we begin into our reader. Abandon, to leave somewhere and never to return. Evidence, information that helps show if something is either true or not true. And raid, to attack by surprise. All right, we're going to see some of these vocab words as we open up here to chapter 12. I know it is lesson 13, but we're actually in chapter 12 of our reader. A history of people in North America. Now you're paying attention to what people's opinions are of some of these explorers that we've talked about. Lots of people think that Columbus was the first to arrive in America, but that's not right. There are at least two other groups of people who settled in North America, and both of them got there many years before Christopher Columbus. If you take a look here, this is a map of North America. One group was the Vikings. The Vikings lived in Northern Europe and Scandinavia. They sailed around a lot, raiding and robbing as they went. The image above shows you some of the places they explored and some of the Vikings who were explorers. Take a peek up here. This should remind you of our Vikings unit. We have Leif Erikson here with the Newfoundland area, Eric the Red with Greenland area, and then we had Ingolf. Okay, you can see our caption. This image shows some of the places the Vikings explored and some of the Vikings who explored. In 982, some Vikings left Iceland and settled in Greenland, which is part of North America. They arrived there about 500 years before Columbus sailed. The Viking settlements on Greenland grew for a while. Archaeologists estimate there were probably 3,000 to 5,000 Viking settlers there at one point. Eventually, however, the Vikings left. Viking settlements in Greenland seem to have been abandoned in the 1400s, not long before the voyage of Columbus. The Vikings also explored lands west of Greenland. Around the year 1000, the famous Viking explorer Leif Erikson visited a land he and other Vikings called Vinland. Most experts believe Vinland was somewhere along the coast of Newfoundland, in modern-day Canada. There is evidence that some Vikings settled in Newfoundland. In 1960, the ruins of a Viking village were found there. This village may have been part of Vinland. The Vikings definitely got to Americas before Columbus. So maybe we should say the Vikings were the first Europeans to settle in North America. But before we decide, we need to look at another group that settled in North America. Okay, this right here, boys and girls, is a photograph of a reconstructed Viking structure at L'Anse aux Meadows in Canada. Reconstructed. Okay, so they kind of had to help put it back together. Another group to settle in North America was the Native Americans. Although we call these people Native Americans, they did not always live in the Americas. They came to America from Asia. When and how this happened are subjects of much debate. Some historians think that the first settlers made their way to North America a little more than 15,000 years ago. Others think the first people came to America many years earlier, perhaps even 40,000 years ago. Some experts think that these people came by land, at a time when Alaska and Asia were connected by land. Others think that they may have traveled along the coast in boats. So here it's a picture showing when the first settlers came to North America is a subject of much debate. So boys and girls, a lot of people have different opinions on this. All right, so we can say here 15,000 years ago, and over here 4,500 years ago. So that's a big gap in years. So we have some people believing some different things. The map above shows how we think human beings spread around the earth. Experts think the first humans lived in Africa. About 100,000 years ago, some humans moved out of Africa and into the Middle East. About 70,000 years ago, a group of humans moved into Southeast Asia. About 15,000 years ago, or possibly earlier, some of these people crossed from Asia to the Americas. It is believed that many people also came to North America by various ship routes. So if we kind of focus on this photo a little bit more, you can see that this map shows how people today think human beings spread around the earth. The numbers represent years ago. New archaeological discoveries continue to be made every day about early settlers in North America. These discoveries change our understanding of who lived in North America in the past. All right, boys and girls, that is the end of today's story. I want you to go right into your assignment, open up your document or form, and I want you to answer some questions about explaining about these different opinions that the different early explorers, or the many people, I should say, had about the early explorers during this time. All right, have a great day.